Welcome to Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, the original food service equipment repair podcast built by technicians for technicians. Whether you're on the front lines of repair, keeping the kitchen running smoothly, or just passionate about the food service repair industry, this podcast is your go to source for expert insights, tech tips, and real stories from the field. What's up, everybody? I'm excited for this. I have my friend Olivia Smith from CFESA. I'm not used to saying that. I'm sorry. That's it threw me when I see it, actually. So I have Olivia here from CFESA. If you don't know Olivia, she does a really cool job over at CFESA. She organizes all kinds of stuff, especially the YPC committee, which I don't know why I'm here because I'm too old for this. How are you guys today?
Good.
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
Good. So we have Jimmy Miller. He's with Coastline Cooling down in Florida. Great company, great family down there, and those guys do a really good job. We have Ben Neal with Archway, and Ben, you say you're by Charlotte area?
Yeah, I'm in Shelby, North Carolina.
Nice. I'm glad you guys all had the chance to come on here and talk about the YPC committee, the symposium, and what CFESA has to offer for the young professionals. So let's get right into it. What is the YPC?
Well, I'll start.
Okay.
So the YPC is one of CFESA's 4 committees. It is a young professionals committee, and the parameters for it is basically anybody in the industry, no matter what segment, service, parts, manufacturer, distributor, dealer, rep, anything that's a CFESA member and you're 40 years or under and you have just passion about getting involved with CFESA and giving back to the industry and continuing to learn.
Nice. You guys do a lot of cool things. You help organize, the symposium, which is kind of new. I'm trying to get my son to sign up for it. He's being kind of wishy-washy. I don't understand this kid. I'm like, it's an opportunity to learn from other people in the industry, younger people. He's like, I think he's too scared. He's too young because he's 23.
So it's the perfect age.
Yeah,
he's got time left.
Yeah, we had an 18-year-old last year, so tell him he's not too young.
Nice. So what is the committee all about? Like, people understand what CFESA committees are, and there's a lot of good things that come out of them.
Yeah. I can tag in a little bit on there. So just a group of folks under 40 that just come together to collaborate, trying to improve the industry and give people growth opportunities, man, both professionally and personally. It's a lot of good networking opportunities. Like you said, from all sectors, right? We've got manufacturing, service, everything from technicians, management, office staff. It's all over the place. Just a lot of good opportunities.
Nice. And what's the commitment like to join a committee?
Yeah, pretty simple, man. Every member gives about an hour a month in a committee meeting where we're collaborating just like we are right now, virtually. Some of us belong to some subcommittees. If you really want to get engaged, there's some great subcommittees to jump on. I belong to like 2. And so that's like 1 extra call a month. I think Olivia, they're like an extra half hour a call, maybe. They're not bad. They're great. It's good involvement. I think me and Ben serve on one together, which is here, this one, the symposium committee. They're just good opportunities, man.
Nice.
Great networking opportunity for sure.
Sweet. So what is the symposium? Let's just get right into it.
The symposium this is going to be our 4th year of having a young professional symposium. So it's still newer, but we're kind of getting our feet on the ground now and under us and growing. So it started just to kind of be a place for young professionals in our industry to come together and both network with each other in person. We network virtually all the time. Some people are able to go to conferences and regional meetings and some are not. But this was made more specifically just for young professionals to get together in person, network with each other, we have it surrounding a regional meeting as well. So it gives them the opportunity to go to both the Young Professional Symposium, where there'll be all people kind of their peers and age group, and then also the regional meeting with a broader range of people, more educational opportunities and networking opportunities, and just give them, again, more professional and personal development growth at these meetings with the sessions that are actually chosen by our young professionals on the YPC, like Jimmy and Ben.
Nice. And what are some of the things you guys do at the symposium? I know there's some speakers and some activities. You want to break down, what you guys have done in the past and what you're looking to do in the future?
Sure. I can talk with that a little, or Jimmy or Ben, if you guys want to jump in a little bit. But there's been a variety of different sessions that we've done. We've had a couple different financial sessions, learning how to take advantage of the benefits that your companies might offer that you might not know about, making sure you're saving for your future and retirement, and taking advantage of 401k match and that kind of thing. We've also had more specific to budgeting, how to budget your personal finances to stretch your salary farther. We've had mentoring presentations, how to find a mentor, how to reach out to a mentor, to kind of give yourself more knowledge and networking opportunities to further yourself in your career. Ben or Jimmy, you want to jump in with some of the other sessions?
For this one in particular that we've been working on, Olivia's found some great speakers to come in on this one. We're, a lot about emotional intelligence, a lot about leadership, and how to turn your day into a win, be a doer. And then we have a lot of focus on AI as well from Roy. So there's a lot of great things coming in this one that are all just going to help project people forward and grow themselves personally.
Yeah, the one last year in Chicago, it was great, great to be at. There was the mentoring was something that I enjoyed a whole lot about that one. I actually have a signature on my email of a quote that was said last year, and it was put yourself in the place of the eagle, because the crows won't fly that high. That's something that I took away from that last year. I actually put that on my signature on my email. But being in this industry, and not just industry, but any industry you're in, I feel like having that mentor and being part of the YPC and getting involved and being around like-minded people in this industry, I think that's our I think that's maybe our role in the future is, because the generation that's going to come behind us, they're going to need a mentor, somebody they can, speak with, ask questions to, bounce things off of, just for some guidance. And going to the symposiums and listening to these to the speakers and absorbing that sort of stuff is something that's going to help build us in the future.
That's really cool to see, and I was just thinking personally, my son's 23, he has some goals and aspirations. It sounds like, someone that age that wants to do more than just be a technician, or maybe they want to, be a manager, maybe they want to be a business owner one day. Seems like it'd be a good place for them to get into and learn and grow with some other people, can really help them, achieve some of their goals and, have a common ground.
Yeah, it's a great place to start. It gets a good stepping stone, puts you in the right direction for sure. And you get to collaborate with others that are like-minded, that are looking to do the same thing. And you might pick up a lot of other things from those people around you as well, not just the speakers, but from the people you get to network with. So,
yeah, everybody's got ideas. But if you have multiple people with ideas, it's a lot easier to come to a common ground and to do the best thing.
Yeah, I found these roundtable discussions always seem to be really good. You really get a lot of information from all different areas, different ideas. And that's kind of where like a lot of the growth comes for me, as I get to hear other people's perspectives on it, not just the one person presenting, but all the people at the table. So those end up being like my favorite things at some of these events, is to just get to hear everyone's different views.
Yeah.
That's really cool to see. So, it has that strong professional growth focus to it. And I like to see that. So, yeah. Networking has always been a big part of CFESA. And how does the symposium help attendees? I know it's probably geared more towards the same age group, and especially a younger group I see are kind of a little different than most people, older people. So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying they, I don't know, just personally, like it just seems like from my kids' perspective, like they're pretty quiet, and I don't know if this is from a factor of them growing up, with technology versus actually having to talk to people. I don't know. I just like to give my kid a hard time, but. People your age together, it seems like it'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, I think a lot of younger folks these days learn to communicate digitally or not in person, right? So I can tell you, like the first event I attended, I was pretty nervous. I was lucky enough to have, Nathan, my cousin, who walked me through and introduced me to people, and Olivia made it easy to talk to her. And like, I learned that people, I met people that way. I think it's a great place to learn. Like, if you're not an outgoing person, you're not used to speaking with people, a lot of the folks at these, events make it easy to just approach and talk to. And now it's easier for me when I go. I just say hi to everybody.
I can bounce off of that a little bit myself. So just personal experience here. So I've actually been in this industry for going on 17 years, and up until last year, I didn't even know anything about CFESA. And so, as Archway is growing and continuing to grow, getting part of CFESA was something that was very important for us. And then our president introduced me to the YPC, said, "Hey, I think you should look into this." And so jumped on board with that. And so just getting out there and networking and actually going to those events and going to the regional, going to the symposium. It's true, Jimmy. I mean, when you see people, it's a whole lot easier of a hello or hey, how you been than it was the first time you walked into a room with a bunch of people. No.
Yep. Yeah, I still remember that first CFESA event I went to. I was just like blown away. I was like, there's too many people here. I don't know what I'm doing here and all that stuff. But everybody at CFESA really is trying to just build the industry up and grow this industry. It's really cool. So I know there's a community service component to it. Can you talk about that and why giving back is so important to the YPC?
I can talk a little bit about kind of the why that came about. But I mean, I guess if you aren't familiar with CFESA, we have a charitable arm called CFESA Cares, and we use that to give out scholarships for technicians and scholarships for support staff, as well as some other different things that we use to give back. Around regional meetings, we normally have a service project that's tied in, whether we're volunteering at a food bank, or we have done, like at a Ronald McDonald House, prepared food for the guests that are staying there, and done a couple of other different things like that. We've also had our charity golf tournament to raise funds for scholarships and things we can just give back to the industry and the local communities that we work in. Our members are, of course, all across the country and some other countries as well. And we try to, a lot of people want to give back to their community and support it. And one thing that's pretty big with young professionals and millennials and Gen Zers is just a lot of people want to work for companies or be involved in things that are giving back to their local community, whether it's financial support or physical support, labor, doing something with your community. So we wanted to mix our service projects that we do around our regional meetings and symposium with something that we can do and talk about at the regional meeting. So we're going to be doing, or not at the regional meeting, sorry, at the symposium. And we will be having roundtable discussions on why it's important for younger people to be involved with those communities, why they are kind of looking for more from the companies that they're working with in terms of giving back, how we can, take things back to our company, what we can help our companies get involved with in their local communities. And while we're doing that, we have taken $25 from each registration for the symposium, and we are using that money to go towards a program that we're going to be building hands-on there, which will be a service project we'll be doing while talking about service projects and community service. So we are going to take those funds and purchase items for cancer care kits, and assemble those and give them back to a local charity that will be giving those to people going through cancer treatment. And that was selected by members from the YPC Symposium Task Force that just really resonated with that charity itself.
That's really cool to see.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So
I know my back and shoulders was feeling it from packing the boxes and putting tape on boxes and selling from the regional last month.
How many box cuts did you have on your hands?
I literally only had one.
Okay.
But it hurt. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
seems like you always find those little box cuts on everything that you touch.
That's it for sure.
That's funny. That's funny. So, what makes a symposium different from a typical industry conference? YPC involvement and opportunities that are there, or what can you explain on that?
Yes. So the Young Professional Symposium is targeted towards young professionals. So those are 40 and under in the industry. So we basically consult with young professionals to see what they want in those sessions and then try to curate it to exactly what they're looking for professional and personal development that we can give to them. And this year, we also sent out a survey to decision makers, owners, operators, higher level management in the industry to get their input as well on what they would be interested in their young professionals learning, so that we could kind of, make a symposium that will be impactful for the young professionals, things they can take back to their company, but also that their managers are excited to send them to learn from. So that was kind of helpful in making sure that our agenda makes everybody happy and is really impactful. At the conference, we do have a session that's tailored directly towards young professionals as well. It's the first session of the conference on Sunday afternoon. And our Young Professionals Committee helps come up with what topics we would want to hear for that as well. It's just one session. And then at our conference, our young professionals also come up with a session and put a session on for the members. So we've done a variety of different things for that in the past 4 or 5 years now. So, there's going to be young professionals at both or all types of events, whether it's a regional meeting, a conference, or a young professional symposium. But the symposium is just targeted specifically towards what young professionals are looking for, and is more of a kind of a peer-to-peer learning activity. But I guess, Jimmy and Ben, what is your kind of how do you think it feels different to you?
I can speak to the future ones because I haven't been to one yet myself, since I'm newer to the YPC. But I know when we originally sat down to collaborate about this symposium coming forward, we really wanted to gear it towards 2 different things. Like, one, how the people attending are going to gain the most from it. And then, like Olivia was saying, number 2, how the businesses would see it, investing in their youth to come in and learn, and what they could best utilize that time and those resources for. So these topics this go around are really focused on like AI, how that's going to help them use AI moving forward, and how they can use it to their benefit, their leadership qualities, their tactics on that side of things. So, there's a lot of good wins here for that. And then, like Olivia said, at the annual side, we always have that one committee get together in the first event, and that's always a great time too. So I can't speak much to the past, but Ben might be able to if he's been to the one before.
Yeah, I went to the one last year in Chicago, but I will say that the national, the YPC, we put on the Family Feud this past year. It was the YPC versus the industry icons, and I will say we took the L, but it's all we. It was close. It was close.
I don't know.
But we had a great time. We had a great time doing that, and that's something that we're actually planning right now. As we speak, we're looking to see what can we do this coming national conference. What's going to be the deal. But I will say that the symposium this year is going to be great. Like Olivia said, the topics were voted on and brought to us as to what would the companies like for their young professionals to get, what topics would they like to see. And AI, like Jimmy said, AI is something that is upon us. It's definitely here. It's something that can help, and I'm kind of curious to see what the topic, how that's going to go. Is it going to be all about what can help us, or is there going to be what can hinder a little bit along with that AI side too? I think personally, I feel like there's a help and a hindrance in it. But I will say that just being there and being with the like-minded people is very important. It's something that not only does it help, but it really gets you out of that daily grind, just for a day, in this industry. it can consume you. It really can. So having somebody that can kind of disconnect a little bit for that day and to sit in and kind of shift gears a little bit is very important for growth.
That's great. That's great. Now, you talked about mentorship. So how does this work, the mentorship side of this, the YPC and the symposium? Is there, someone at the upper age group of the YPC, you pairing them up with somebody else, or just everybody just a big community, or how's that work?
Yeah, I think, for me, it's just more of like a giant community. I think when you approach people there, well, you're normally going to get approached by somebody before you approach someone, but there's all different kinds of personalities and people from all over different sectors. Like there's a lot of people you've probably talked to before, just never met in person as well. So, I just enjoy it myself. I don't know about the mentoring side of it. Like I'm trying to find anyone that wants to be a part of it and just give them some insight from what my experiences are. It's something I enjoy doing. So, I'm always open to chat with anyone that's interested myself.
Yeah, I think you're right. There seems to be, for me, it seems that there's kind of that one person that you kind of gravitate towards a little bit. And I think that's just kind of a natural thing. You meet people and you're like, hey, this person's got a lot in common. We're both in this role at a company, or you share a lot of like-minded things there. But mentoring to me is very, very important. It's something that, and it doesn't have to necessarily be somebody that's in our industry. It can be anyone, a family member, whoever it may be. But to me, it's very important.
Yeah, I think it's also like more of an informal kind of mentoring.
Yeah.
Everyone's mentoring each other a little bit. And the way we kind of have all of our committees structured at CFESA is either Heather or myself, or both of us sit on the committee as like the liaison with HQ to help kind of like translate anything that needs to be done. And then we also have co-chairs. So those are two members of our committee that apply to be a co-chair, and it's a 2-year term, and they are helping kind of run the committee, get people engaged, create the agendas, send out meeting minutes, and just, again, encourage everybody to be engaged. And then we also have generally 2 board of director liaisons that sit on the committee. So we have 2 members of our board that will sit on each committee, and they kind of help mentor our young professionals as well. They're not meant to be like a working member of the committee, but more kind of support from the board if there's anything that needs to be taken from committee to the board, as well as, again, just kind of like mentoring and helping, especially with the young professionals. I think both of our board liaisons currently have been members of the YPC prior to getting elected to the board. So that's also very cool for us that we've had a couple of our young professional members become board members in the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm always excited to see younger people getting involved, especially if, the board and presidents the last few years. It's been really exciting to see that the growth CFESA has, and, the involvement of the younger people. It's really cool to see. Mm-hmm. So what's some of the most rewarding things, or one rewarding thing you've gotten out of YPC?
Short stint for me so far, but I think it's networking for me, man. Like I've really met a lot of new people, getting to establish friendships both professionally and actually like outside of work. Some folks have really become close friends of mine that I talk to just on an everyday level sometimes. When can we get together, go hang out? Like, it's really just the networking allows you, especially in this industry, to really communicate on all different levels, man, and learn different things. I always have a friend that I can call for advice for whatever's, professionally happening in front of me. I think that's probably the most rewarding thing for me, man, is just building those relationships so far.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Jimmy said that right. I'm with you, man. Networking, being at the national conference, and the group that was there from overseas, Kane and those fellas, man, I'm gonna tell you, we had an absolute great time with those guys. But the networking and just building those relationships, and like you said, I mean, having people that you can talk to about situations and being able to work through that, and just being able to sit in on the symposium and to listen to the speakers and just absorbing that stuff. It doesn't just help you at work; it helps you in daily life too. So, but yeah, the networking for me is very important.
Yeah, for me, Pat, one of the big things for me was, I've worked my way from the ground up in this industry, right? I started out as like a guy that cleaned trucks when I was 14 during the summers.
Yeah, sometimes that last name, people think you just get stuff handed to you. You don't, man. He makes you over there.
Man, I was the grunt, man.
That name doesn't do anything but hard work over there.
I used to just organize trucks, clean them, and then it was the warehouse work, and then work my way up, right? Service tech, and now I'm service manager, and I'll tell you, like, I'm new to service management over the past like year and a half. I'm getting to socialize and network with folks that have done, followed the same path, or maybe a different path, but they achieved the same things, and learning everyone's different ways of how to be successful, attack those challenges every day. I'm no pro, man. I'm learning every day, so I utilize a lot of the folks in the YPC to just give a phone call to when I need a resource. And bounce ideas off of, and maybe it's something they've done themselves. So that's where that networking really comes in, man. And then helping create those opportunities for the youth coming in. I kind of had a little bit, I learned from my dad and my uncle a lot, which was not always the easiest and funnest way, because they just taught the old school method, right? But try and create those new opportunities, those new ways for like the youth coming into the industry now to be successful and grow their careers, maybe even a little faster than I was able to do. So
yeah, that networking component, we keep talking about that. And I haven't been on the YPC. I'm on the training committee. I found out about YPC when I was a little, like 39. So I didn't want to jump on for a year and jump off. But, I started off as a service tech where I started doing training and stuff. And as a service tech, you feel kind of lonely. You're out there on the road. And, I like it for the most part. But once I started joining some things with CFESA and teaching, and I realized that there's a ton of other people out there just like me that are like, they feel lost or they don't know. And then once you start networking, like, it's amazing the opportunities come up. You can do some stuff with manufacturers, other service companies, and it's just, you really build that relationship out there. And it's one of it, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the networking is a great part. I think that's what a lot of people really get out of it, is again just taking the time out of their day-to-day jobs to talk to people that are their peers, and we have such a large and interactive group now that you do make a lot of friends. And I think some of the most rewarding things for me is like seeing everybody come together to celebrate each other when they've gotten, engaged, new babies, marriages, promotions, a new degree, or something like that. And also we've come together to support people when they're going through harder times in life too. And just to see how grateful some people are for that, and thankful that they have people that are, work friends and that they can talk to about work, but are also there to support them through the exciting and the harder times in life as we navigate our 20s and 30s and our early careers, and just continuing to help each other, encourage each other to put our best foot forward and continue to learn and continue to grow in our roles in this industry. Is very rewarding for me. And again, of course, seeing people get excited to get more involved and speak at different regional meetings like Ben and Jimmy and different conferences, and just get more exposure in the industry, and then becoming co-chairs and seeing them take advantage of that, and running for the board and getting seats on the board and stuff. So just excited to see the continued growth, but also like support when we have more struggles and need support from people.
Yeah, that's great. So let's talk about the schedule a little bit for the day. So it's going to be in Indianapolis for the region. What are we, region 2? I don't know what region I'm in. Sorry.
Yeah, region 2.
It's going to be in Indianapolis for region 2. It's hosted by our friends over at Zinc Food Service.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So shout out to Zinc for helping out and giving a tremendous place over there. They're going to have a nice facility over there, so it'll be good to go. What can you expect when you show up? I know you guys are feeding everybody, so you get fed. I know we're starting off today with a speaker, emotional intelligence in real life. So that's going to be a huge thing for people. I could probably sit through that one. I'm about to see if I can't steal the notes on the backside or hide out. So it's just a day full of speakers, learning, engagement. What else can they expect there?
I guess Ben, do you want to talk about kind of what you experienced when you went last year? What people
Yeah,
can get
for
out of it?
sure. Getting the people involved. It's not just sitting there listening to somebody talk. You get to be involved. You actually get to interact. Last year we had a lady that spoke on budgeting. And, she was like, hey, if you do it this way, stand on this side of the room. Hey, if you do it this way, stand on that side of the room. So, getting everybody involved. It's not just sitting there with your pencil and paper and just, getting bored to death. Just being more involved. Yeah. Being involved in it and not just sitting there listening to somebody bore you to death. Pretty much.
Well, it's like everything in life. You get out what you put into it. Someone can go to this and not be involved, sit there and play on their phone for the whole day and think it's terrible. And then, put in some involvement, get in there, be interactive. You can learn all kinds of stuff, meet a ton of new people, and really take away some things.
Mm-hmm.
It's also like a good sized group where there is enough to get some of that back and forth feedback going. We tend to have like 30 to 40 people in attendance.
Nice.
So it's a big enough group that you're getting to meet a lot of people, and hopefully we'll continue to grow it and there'll be more, but it's also still such a manageable group that you can really get to talk to everybody that day.
Sweet. So, moving forward, this is a yearly thing, and is it always in Region 2, or does it kind of move around, or you guys pick Region 2 as kind of central, or?
It's moved around a little bit. We have had it in our Region 4 here in Charlotte once, but we try to have it so it's at a large enough airport that people can get in and out of and find flights fairly easily, while also being somewhere central. Of course, we have members all over the country, so trying to have it as centralized as possible is helpful so that it's not on one side of the country or the other for people to come to. But we do try to move it around a little bit.
All right. So let's talk about the YPC a little more. It's really what the symposium came from. So what are some of the goals you guys have over the next 2 years for the committee? Don't look at me like that.
I didn't know if when you guys want to
in the next 2 years, I'm aging out.
Yeah.
I think the goal every day for the YPC is to really just create opportunities and pathways for the youth coming in, right? So like for me, I would love to just be able to make an impact on the industry and how I can create opportunities for the people coming in, the future of our industry, to become leaders in our industry when I walk off, right? And so I think that's probably one of our big goals, is just to always create more opportunities, streamline that process for those folks to come on in and walk that pathway, up their career.
Nice. That's cool. That's good to see. So winding down, we've been talking about half hour. I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. I know you guys got businesses to run. Olivia's gonna go check on Dan because he's making prank phone calls. If someone's on fence about coming to the symposium or joining the YPC, what would you tell them?
Well, for me, pretty simple. If you're looking to join the YPC, you can reach out to Olivia or, anyone in CFESA will point you in the right direction, I would think. I know I've had folks ask me, I've pointed them in the right direction or connected them with Olivia before. It's pretty easy. We all know each other one way or another. Same way I joined YPC, right? It was suggested to me. And I happen to have served on a different committee that I love too, but this is more in my wheelhouse and what I was looking to do. So it was suggested I come on over. It's a pretty easy process. So we're all reachable.
Yeah, we actually had a member of our company that joined us at the regional this year, and he's like, man, I need to get involved. And I was like, okay. So he actually just recently joined. He was on his first call last month.
Nice.
And I will say that, if you're part of a company and you have some young professionals that want to get involved and they want growth in their future and you want to get them networking with the industry, this is the best platform I can tell you to get involved with.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think in terms of like how to, if you go to our website, there is a committee application right on there. So if the YPC is the committee you want to join, you can fill out the application for YPC. If one of our other 3 committees are something that you're more attracted to, whether you're under 40, over 40, you can apply to any of those. I know Pat's always salty about that 40 and under, but yeah, you can go and submit the application online. It's a pretty simple process. We'll get you added probably within the same day to whichever committee you're applying to, as long as there's space on it. And then for the symposium as well, on our website, there's an events tab, and the Young Professional Symposium is a tab on there. You can register right online, see the agenda, see some of the speakers, the location, and all the information about the symposium. So you can, again, do both of those two things online pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's also social media platforms that we're a part of, right? And I know Olivia's run those most of the time, I believe, but you can find all kinds of information on any of the social media platforms if you follow those. There's always ways of reaching out to folks. I know if you comment even on some of the social media posts, someone, Olivia, is responding back pretty quick. So there's all kinds of options.
And I'll put a link to the symposium and CFESA on here where you can go sign up, get more information. I love what CFESA does in general. They set the standard for our industry, and they're really pushing training and development of not just technicians, office staff, managers, owners. There's so much information on CFESA's website, and I just try to promote it every way I can and show it off. I really love being involved from training and as a technician. I'm excited to see what CFESA in whole is working for the industry.
Yeah, we appreciate your being involved as well. And like we said, there's other committees. Pat's on our education training committee, like he mentioned. We also have a membership services committee and a CFESA Cares committee. So have a couple different options if you want to get involved with something.
That training one's pretty full, man.
Yeah, that one is pretty full. That one and YPC are fullest committees.
That one took off. It was like small, and then this year it's like everybody's jumping on it. So I'm excited to see what we're going to work on. We've got a ton of subcommittee stuff going on. And like I said, you can just come and do the 1 hour a month, or you can be more involved and be a part of growing the committee and other things. So I really appreciate everybody taking the time to come on. Olivia, thank you for everything you do for CFESA and for the committees and everything. Jimmy, it's always a pleasure to see you. And Ben, I was excited to meet you, and it looks like I'm going to see you driving up to India here in a few weeks.
Yeah, man. Hey, if anybody needs a ride, I got plenty of room.
Yeah, I do that drive several times a year, so it's not a bad drive.
Well, Pat, thanks for your time and for your platform, man. I appreciate everything you put out as well. So thanks for having us.
Yep, you're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pat.